Okay, welcome back to Chapter 8, Video 2 for Math 116. I believe this is going to be the last video for Chapter 8 other than a help session video. So I'm picking up on page 7 of our guided notes that we handed out in class before we switched to online. So we're continuing to work with revolutions and angular velocities and conversions. So here are a couple of examples that I have for you. If you're given 6.9 revolutions and you want to convert to radians, again, you're converting from having made 6.9 revolutions around a circle to wanting to convert to how many radians that is as an angle measure. So I start out with 6.9 revs. I'm going to get rid of one revolution, and I'm going to convert to 2 pi radians in 1 rev. My revs cancel, so I know I'm on track, and if my math is correct, I get 43.35 radians. This is true without regard to the length of the radius. If you have moved through 6.9 revs on any circle, you have moved through 43.35 radians. Continuing on, let's use unit fractions to make conversions where we also have angular velocity. So if you're given 16 radians per second, that is an angular velocity, right? Because you're moving through angle measures as a function of time. And if you want to convert to revolutions per second, you need to understand and recall that RPS stands for revs per second. So we want to get rid of radians, we want to go to rev, and we want to get rid of radians, as I mentioned. So how many radians in 1 rev? That's where our 2 pi comes in handy. There are always 2 pi radians in 1 revolution around a circle by definition. And we're going to stay with seconds. It didn't ask us to change that. So it's simple math here. Our radians cancel. And by the way, radians are unitless. I always like to write them anyway, but they're different than other types of units. And that's a discussion for another day. So I got 2.55 revs per second is the same as going through 16 radians in a second. One more conversion, 225 radians per minute. That's moving pretty fast, I think. And we're going to want to convert to revs per minute. So again, we don't have to modify the time. We just are going to get rid of radians and move to revs. And we've got 2 pi radians in 1 rev. Our radians cancel. And if my math was correct, 35.81 revs per minute. Continuing with the notes, we're going to talk a little bit more about string conversions where maybe you have to change not only the time unit, but perhaps also the distance. But let's practice with one time conversion and where we want to also convert to from revs to radians. So here we're going to go from revs per second to radians per minute. So be sure to always check your units. And that's why I think it's helpful to write it out in fraction form. We want to get rid of revs. We know that's 2 pi radians. And we also want to get rid of seconds and convert to minutes. And we know there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. Let's make sure that my units cancel properly. Minutes, whoops, I'm going to be left with minutes. Seconds cancels with seconds. Rev cancels with revs. And I'm going to be left with radians per minute. So when I do my calculation there, I ended up with 2,450.4 radians per minute. And please don't abbreviate radians with an R, because that does stand for revolutions. Okay, continuing, hearing no questions. Haha, you have to reserve those for another day, another time. Let's look again at linear and angular velocity conversions. So remember, V stands for linear velocity, and that can be found by taking arc length or distance traveled and dividing by time. So whether you want to think of that as arc length or distance traveled, that's your choice. And recall also that you can find arc length by multiplying radius times the angle measure of travel in radians. So on your notes, you might want to change, yes, we want radius, but we also want radians. So maybe radians and radius. Make sure that you're not working with diameter there. So I'm going to turn us to problem 88 on page 376. Bear with me. Here we go. The formula for the linear velocity of a point on the circumference of a rotating object, so like a wheel, was given earlier. Velocity equals arc length divided by time. And so if a point traveled 100 centimeters in 4 seconds, the linear velocity is 100 centimeters divided by 4 to give you what we call unit rate. And that's where the time has to be a unit of 1, 25 centimeters per second. When the angle of rotation is given in radians, you can use arc length equals angle measure theta times radius to find the distance traveled. We can use that formula for this given problem, and then we're going to go on and work some additional problems with that. So here's the question. Find the linear velocity, so you're going to need a distance as a function of time, of a point on the circumference of a circular object, let's say it's a wheel, whose radius is 1.5 centimeters, and if it rotates through 30 radians and 2.75 seconds. So hopefully you can see that it's going to jump right off the page at you, that you could find angular velocity by 30 radians divided by seconds. Okay, and you've got a radius, so you can easily find distance. So the distance traveled S is, you want to use your formula, arc length is r theta, or theta r as they wrote it here. I prefer r theta. Okay. And amount of time, there was no conversion there. It was 2.75 seconds. And linear velocity v we're going to find. So I'm going to move to my other notes here to fill these in. So radius was 1.5 centimeters. Here's your angle measure, and that's plural, and time is 2.75 seconds. So first they asked us to find the length traveled. So that's S equals r theta. And just as long as you're in radians and you've got radius, that's going to be 1.5 centimeters times your 30 radians. This is a good example where the radians is unitless, and you don't have to worry about that being a unit. And so your final calculation here is going to be 45 centimeters for length traveled. Now, if you want to find linear velocity, you can find it as distance traveled over time. And the distance traveled here was 45 centimeters, and that was in 2.75 seconds. So we've got centimeters as a function of time, and that would be 16.4 centimeters per second. And I believe that answered all of the questions for that particular question. We're going to move on to problem 90 on page 377. Okay, problem 90 on page 377. I'd like to show a solution to this a little bit differently than our textbook did. We're given that the radius is 35 centimeters, and there's an angular velocity w at 12.4 radians per second. And let's say you want to compute linear velocity. Let's write down what we've been given. We've been given 12.4 radians per second. And if we want to convert to linear velocity, let's think about what we could convert that would be helpful along the way. If we want to get rid of radians, we know there are 2 pi radians in 1 rev, but revs or rotations are not linear velocity, right? We want distance, not revolution. So let's find out what 1 revolution is worth. Well, it's worth 2 pi r, and in this case, r was 35 centimeters. And let's see where that leaves us when we do our unit cancellation. We've gotten rid of radians, we've gotten rid of revs, and it's going to leave us with centimeters as a function of time. That's exactly what linear velocity is. When we do that calculation, I believe we're going to end up with 434 centimeters per second. The reason I'm showing it to you this way rather than the way the book worked through it is because I think it gives us a better understanding of this formula that they're showing us here, that velocity is equal to angular velocity times radius. Angular velocity was here. Oh, and by the way, 2 pi divided by 2 pi cancels as well. So angular velocity times radius, if you happen to have those two values, you can find linear velocity straight from those two. And that's what this particular formula helps you accomplish. Angular velocity times radius will give you linear velocity, and that's very helpful. So finishing this problem, they suggest let's use the formula to find the linear velocity when the angular velocity is 18.7 radians per minute and the radius is 2.52. So linear velocity is angular times radius. Here's your angular velocity, here's your radius, and boom, it's a pretty simple calculation. They suggest it's 47.1 feet per minute. I'm going to trust the book here. Now this brings us to 3 problems on the next page from the self-test that I would like you to try on your own, but then I'm going to work them out for you in case you get stuck. So it's items 12, 13, and 14 at the bottom of the self-test. So pause the video and try them on your own. So quickly, here's number 12. Angular velocity is radians per second. You were given radians and you were given seconds. You just have to make that a unit of 1 second divide. That really flows from the clue of radians per second, in my opinion. Linear velocity, recall that it's angular velocity times radius. Our angular velocity was 23.8 radians. Our radius was 16.8 centimeters and per second then. And remember that radians is unitless, and you end up with 400 centimeters per second. Finally, converting centimeters per second to meters per minute. Write down your 400 centimeters per second times 100 centimeters in 1 meter and 60 seconds in 1 minute. Cancel your units and you're left with meters per minute, 240 meters per minute. This is the end of chapter 8 videos of direct lecture question and answers will be the next video.